Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to the program and welcome to all of our viewers out on the. Um, let's just get this going once again. It seems to have changed direction here. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. Come on, guys. All right, and silence it as well. Right on. Now we're back in the stream. We apologize for that, but technology sometimes just doesn't play along. It's time again for Personal Excellence with Personal Excellence coach and mentor, Hafiz Imraan Choonara, the director at Africa Muslims Agency. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Azhar, always good to be with Salam Media and all the listeners as well and viewers.
Welcome to the program. So today, the topic is quite interesting, something that I've never heard of before, and it's called the three gates of speech.
Absolutely. I think actually some people might have heard of it because I think it's actually a Sufi saying. I think maybe Rumi might have said it. I could be completely wrong, but hey, you know what? If something is super philosophical and you don't know where it came from, you say Rumi said it. But anyways, but probably, I'm not sure. I think it is actually. The point of the three gates of speech is this. Before you speak, let your words pass through three gates. And you think about this mentally, kind of picture this gate that stops things. Number one, is it true? Number two, is it necessary? And number three, is it kind? What you're about to say, is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? Now, there's another book by a guy called Les Parrott that's termed 3 seconds. And basically, the crux of the book really explains the concept of when you say something, when you're about to say something, especially in reaction to someone, think for 3 seconds. Stop, wait, pause, think, and decide what you're about to say. Do you have to say it? Is it necessary to say it? Is it true? Is it kind? So when you think about it, it's easy to say, and it's easy to agree with, by the way. We can all listen to this and say, Rumi said this or whatever, and we can think, yeah, that makes sense. That's true. That you should do that. But if you challenge ourselves, Azhar, it's really tough to do that. It's really not that simple to catch yourself every time because we want to say something because we believe we know the answer or we're right, or we want to defend ourselves, or we want to prove the other person or whatever. And so we don't think about, is it true? We don't think about, is it necessary? Is it kind? Now you think, no, of course, I don't lie all the time, so obviously I'm telling the truth. I mean, it's true. Well, let me stop you there. And I'm not just talking about words you say to other people. I'm talking about what you say to yourself as well, by the way. Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? Because you and I speak to ourselves more than we speak to anyone else on the planet. You are communicating with yourself every single moment of the day. Your own thoughts. And you'll often catch yourself saying something about yourself to other people. So you are talking about yourself and to yourself a lot more than anybody else. Now here, let's talk about this for a second. Because I think if we really focused on these 3 points, we'd speak a lot less and we'd listen a lot more. We'd speak a lot less and we'd listen a lot more. And that's really how we should be living our lives. Because here's the thing. In a factual situation between right and wrong, in a factual situation, it's easy to differentiate between truth and falsehood. It's easy. Facts. But most of our lives are not lived by facts. They're lived by opinions, views, perceptions. Most of our lives. Very few things we have to worry about every single day factual. Because once a fact is proven, it's proven. Okay, it's proven. That's it. But most of our lives, our interaction with human beings or with each other is based on my perception, my opinion, my view, what I heard, what you heard. And everything in your head, your thoughts are made up of what you've been exposed to, which means it may not necessarily be fact. And remember, if you heard something from someone else, that does not make it true. Because you don't know. You were not physically present at a particular point when something happened, someone relayed it to you. It already, by definition of the fact that someone else relayed it to you, and they're a human being, which means it might have been clouded by their perception, it means it's not exactly the truth. I don't mean they deliberately lied to you. I just mean that their perception of life clouded what they say to you about what happened, which means it may not be purely the truth. Now you're going to relate to someone else. This is why gossip is so bad. Because you're going to relate to someone else. It's your perception of life that clouds what you heard. Goes to the third person. You see how distorted the truth becomes? It's incredible.
It's a simple case of Chinese whispers, you start off somebody saying, or John says, this is a black dog. And it goes round and round and round. And by the time it comes to the 30th or the 40th person, it comes back to John, and somebody saying, John, they say you a black dog. And that's the thing.
Absolutely, without a doubt. It's amazing. You see in that situation how it could cause so much trouble. It was an innocent statement. When it comes back to the same person, it's an insult or whatever. It's a you laughing at the person or whatever you're teasing him or whatever the case is. And yet it started out as an innocent statement and it became something that ridiculed somebody for that matter. And that's often what happens in our societies. It starts off something very innocently, someone says something, and by the time it comes back to that same person's ears again, it's almost as if they're being destroyed. So number one, is it true? Number two, even if it is true, hear me on this, folks. Even if it is true, is it necessary to be said at that time? You may know something that's true, by the way, but you need to think, you need to apply wisdom, hikmah, to everything you and I do. It may not be necessary to be said at that moment. It may be facts, it may be truth, but maybe it's not kind to say it at that time. You might ask me, or I might look at you and you might be a person that I dislike because maybe your physical appearance, or I don't know, whatever. I might have my own judgment of you. Okay, so it may be true that that you, I don't know, that you look a certain way, or that makes you look a bit odd. Maybe true, but is it necessary for me to tell you? Probably not. It's not necessary. Or someone said something to me about you. Okay, whether I believe it's true or not is irrelevant. Is it necessary for me to tell you? Maybe not. Even if someone said something to me about someone else, that may be complete facts and truth. Is it necessary for me to tell you? Or am I just spreading gossip and rumor for that matter? So it may not be necessary. And even if it is, like for example, when someone makes a mistake, is it necessary? I mean, often they know they made a mistake. If you and I make a mistake in life, we know we made a mistake. Do I need someone to tell me I made a mistake? Probably I feel guilty already. I feel bad. I feel embarrassed. The last thing I want is someone to point it out to me and say, I told you so. Come on. So is it necessary? Number three, even if it is true, even if you think it's necessary, ask yourself the third question: is it kind? We are all human beings, folks. All of us want to be treated with kindness. So it might be true, might be necessary to say it, but is it kind to say it? And what's the kindest way to say it? There's a statement I want you to write down that goes, seek first to understand rather than to be understood. Seek first to understand rather than to be understood. Too many of us don't understand the other one. We just want to be understood. We want everyone to understand us, but we fail to understand another human being's perspective. And you know what? I want to close our segment today on this. Every human being you and I meet every single day, I don't care who they are, what their title is, how much money they have, what do you think they're successful, not irrelevant. How learned they are, it doesn't matter. Every single human being is hurting in some way in their life that you and I don't know about. It may be internally, it may be externally, but every human being has some struggle in life, something, doesn't matter what it is. And you and I don't know about it. So, be kind. So remember, is it true? And truth is difficult to ascertain. Very difficult when it comes to opinions and perceptions. Number two, is it necessary? Does it have to be said? Or is it better left unsaid? Especially between spouses and your kids. And it's incredible what we say to each other. And then number three, is it kind? Or am I saying it in a kind manner? Is it kind to say that to that human being? Anyway, I hope that kind of makes sense.
Absolutely. I mean, the lessons, is it necessary? Is it kind? Is it the truth? These are basics that we try and every day get through our newsroom, for example. Uh, you know, is it the truth? It's imperative. It has to be true if you're going to be broadcasting it. But is it necessary to add in some of the sensationalism to make it sound a little bit more enticing? You may get a few more views or hits because of the words, but really, is it necessary? And ultimately, because of our premise of humanitarian journalism, is it kind? Is it going to be building the world, or are we going to be helping breaking things down further? And I like to come back to the prophetic teaching that if we can protect that which is between our legs and that which is between our lips and our teeth, then we have a guarantee of success in the year after. And this is
Absolutely.
exactly what you're saying in a nutshell. And we're really, really appreciative for these valuable lessons, Imran, for and sharing them with us and putting
Alhamdulillah.
them simplified and easy and palatable manner. I hope society benefits at
Alhamdulillah.
large. Jazakallah khairan
Ameen. Ameen.
for your time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.